paper at home, if you're not here, you can pause right there if you didn't get it. Which one are you looking for? 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh wait, I got one.
9 and 10. 11, 12.
Stop saying.
This would be the time for questions. You turn on those lights, Howard. Mackenzie. Number 21. Please make sure you listen here for problem 21 because this is problem. If you ran into a problem 21, this is probably the reason why. I will circle it in large beautiful letters right here. Well, I'll try to circle it.
Where did you go? Deformed circle.
Whoa. Wait. Please note this. Only in standard form, which these are, okay, in standard form, if the y term is negative, you are going to change this sign to its opposite when you shade. Everything else will be the same, except when you shade it, instead of this being less than on the y, it's going to be greater than. Because y needs to be positive, flip the sign, flip the sign. So when you do this, let's look at this first of all. Negative 3y is less than negative 9. There is a dot at 3 on the y-axis. Negative 3 divided by, or 9, negative 9 divided by negative 3 is 3. Cover up this one. Hopefully you're getting good at this. You know that it is negative 9 over 4, which is negative 2 1/4. So we've got this little dot right here. It doesn't equal it, so it's going to be a dash line, and I'll just draw the dash line in there. But here's the deal with that. Since this term is negative, it's not on the less than side of the y-axis, it's on the greater than side. So you should shade this side of that axis. On the other side, this one's a little easier. X is negative 6, you don't have it, so again, you kind of guess over there. Y is negative 2. It's equal to, so it's a solid line. It is less than or equal to, so you shade the bottom half. And the place where they overlap is this little smidgen right here. So there's the note to self for tomorrow's test. You see, that's only in standard form. You don't worry about that. If anything over here, well, the y would never be negative in slope intercept form anyway. Holly? Is not a negative 9 divided by a negative 3 positive 3? Yep. Kyle? 22. Go ahead and have that. Oh, not another one of these. Didn't we do this last time? If it helps you, go ahead and put +0 here. I don't know if that makes any difference to me or not. What's the first thing we talked about this yesterday? Define your variables. A is what, Kyle? B is, C is 0. Axis of symmetry is negative b over 2a, correct? Did you put parentheses? Huh?
Yeah.
And negative b is a negative 4. Uh-oh. And a is 2. So you end up with positive 4 over positive 4. Correct?
Yes.
Sure. So at 1 is your axis of symmetry. Is that really right? Charles, what?
That makes no sense.
Okay. Then you put, since it's positive, you know it's going to be a U shape, so you're looking for the min. You're looking for the bottom of that U. And to find the bottom of the U, you put that 1 into the equation and see what you get. So you end up with y equals 2 times 1 squared minus 4 times 1. So you end up with, looks like 2 minus 4, which is negative 2. So where y is negative 2 is the bottom of that. If you put 0 in for the x's, you end up with 0, so it crosses here at 0. There's going to be another one over here. And from there, you can pretty much get your parabola, for the most part, from. Something like that. That helps? Whoever's out there. Other ones? Lines were all set and ready to roll, Josh.
Can you do 14?
It's my desire. The deal with 14, you're supposed to solve it by substitution, Josh. And none of those equations are solved for a letter, so you have to fix that by doing what?
Getting the y by itself.
It doesn't have to be the y. And as a matter of fact, I wouldn't do the y because the y has numbers in front of it. Look for the letter that's all by itself already. Now you just need to make it all by itself on the side of the equation. So what do you have to do?
Multiply.
Subtract that over. So if you subtract 2y from both sides, you end up with x equals, it doesn't matter how you write it, negative 2y minus 5. So then you take that x, and you gotta be careful because you get a lot of negative signs in there. You take that x and put it in for x right there. I wouldn't try to do this on this little piece of paper that we have right here. So it's negative 3 times what x is, which is this, negative 2y minus 5 minus 4y equals 7. Are you with me? Just stuck this in for x right there, the rest of it stays the same. Negative 3 times negative 2 is a positive 6y. Negative 3 times a negative 5 is a positive 15. Minus 4y equals 7. Put your y's together, it's 2y. Subtract your 15 over, you get a negative 8. Divide by 2, divide by 2, y is negative 4. Once you know y, I would put it back in right here, because I'll tell you what x is. Negative 2 times negative 4 minus 5. Positive 8 minus 5. X hopefully was 3. That's my hope. Ashley? Number 8. Something's got to happen with this calibration. Let's try it one more time. I think it's because my board is bored. Number 8, children, is not, well, I guess it is. The deal with number 8 is you don't have a third number after it. So when you see that, you have to think two things. You have to think either it's a perfect square one, which it's not. That one like where we had r squared minus 9 that broke into r plus 3, r minus 3. But this doesn't have a letter after it. This one, you just have to look at, the only thing you can factor out of that is the letter m. Okay, you just take a single letter out and factor it, make it m times m minus 7. That's the most factoring you can do from there. This is not going to factor into the binomials. It's going to factor in just that m and that. But you still ask the same question. When will this parenthesis be 0? When m is 0. When will this parenthesis be 0? When m is 7. The 7 minus 7 is 0. So if it's just a two-term thing that's equal to 0, it's either going to factor into this or it's going to factor into this. If there's no last number there, you're not going to get to the binomials. You can only take out what you can take out. Which is the first thing you're supposed to look at anyways. Can you factor anything out of both of those things? In which case, there you can. Gabe? Where did we struggle with that one, Gabe?
I think I got confused with it.
Step number 1, and that'd be the second big note I wrote for myself. If you're trying to factor a trinomial, you need to look for common factors first. What can you take out of 4m squared minus 24m minus 28? A 4. So if you take a 4 out, you're left with m squared minus 6m minus 7. Right? And then this, you don't have any choices with this one. There's only one factor of 7, which is 7 and 1. And since the negative one is bigger, the negative goes with the 7. So m plus 1 equals 7. Ashley?
11.
You already did 11.
No.
I love it. You're looking for the place where these two lines cross? They're both in what form? Slope intercept. This one crosses the y-axis at -3, has a slope of -1/2, goes up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, or down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. So this line is this line right here. Am I right? Am I right?
You're right.
You're over there.
This one here, no, don't say that. I was wrong once. Crosses the y-axis at 4, and it has a positive 5/4, which means it goes 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's positive slope. So it crosses right here. I hope at -4, -1.
Do we have to write down the coordinates for the test?
Are you saying, can you just yes? That's the answer.
So we can't just do the graphs?
No, you need to write me the answer. You need to write, this is the answer. You need to write that down. It's a good thought, though. Sam, you look kind of out of it today. You stay up late last night or
I have not.
what? Not feel
He's
well?
packing for Texas.
No more cold winters for you. Where
Happy
is it,
for your
Austin?
fake journey.
Houston area. Where is that, Texas?
That's like by the Gulf. No.
This
You're by
is,
Mexico.
if this is Texas,
He's
that's.
gonna
He's gonna be
Jamaican
That looks like that ship.
Spring
Where's
break,
that?
what's your
That
face?
looks like a boat.
That looks like my
It's
bathtub.
looks
That
like
was
it's in the
like
bottom.
my bracket.
Looks like my bedroom.
It's creepy out.
Any other questions over
It's
math?
gonna be Noah.
Suddenly we digress.
Connor.
Nobody? Nothing? That's it?
Connor.
Who's Connor?